Negotiations continuing in Washington as lawmakers work to pass a gun bill this week. But despite the emotional plea from Democrats, some Republicans say they are still hesitant to support the bill.
Anna Warnicki joining us live in Washington this morning. Anna, good morning. Let's begin here. President Biden has been pressuring Congress to act. Is he getting involved in these negotiations?
Good morning. Well, we know that President Biden has been in close talks with the lead Democrat negotiator, Senator Chris Murphy, but he's stayed out of getting too involved in these negotiations. The president has
Well, we appear to be having an issue with Anna's signal from Washington. As she mentioned, Allie, the president is speaking with top Democrats in Congress, trying to come up with terms that might be acceptable for Republicans when it comes to reaching a compromise on gun control legislation. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story.
And let's turn to some Democratic members of our local delegation in Albany talking about the new gun laws they just passed, as well as new movement on reproductive rights legislation.
The gun control measures expanding New York's red flag law and raising the age to purchase a semi-automatic weapon from the age of 18 up to 21. The delegation, also discussing advancing legislation strengthening reproductive rights, ensuring states that restrict abortion access are not targeting people who come to New York to seek care.
And so we knew that there was something we needed to do even in the last couple of weeks of the legislative session. And so that's why we're here today, as Assemblymember Bronson described, but also to remind folks that we realize New York State is the last barrier between many of these rollbacks, many of the failures to act on the federal government's part.
Well, another safety measure passed will establish a social media task force that will evaluate how these platforms are facilitating hate.
Well, James, only 51 degrees out there, feeling a little cool. Might need a light jacket if you're headed out the door.
Light jacket, hoodie, long sleeve, yeah, right on the fringe there. Unless you're just shuffling off to your car and then from your car to work, then it shouldn't be too bad at all. Radar and satellite all clear. That's the case for today. Temperature-wise, let's see here. We'll go out to Medina this morning, 72 degrees. Down the road, Albion at 71. Downtown getting to 73 degrees. Honey Falls at 74. That's where Penn Yan's going to find themselves there as well. Naples at 73. Maybe you're going shopping in Victor. You'll get right into the 70s there. Nunde, you're at 75 this afternoon. We'll do a last look at the 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Mark, Allie.
All right, James, thank you. Another check of the roads with our sunrise traffic. So far, so good on this Wednesday morning, at least on the main arteries. No accidents to pass along on 390, 490, or 590 at this hour as you make your way out the door.
Well, happening today is sentencing for Keith Williams, the man who stabbed Rochester police officer Denny Wright and blinded him in 2019.
A Monroe County jury convicting Williams of attempted aggravated murder of a police officer, a charge that weighs heavily on intent.
Developing now, Greece Central School District voting yes to having their students put their cell phones away next school year. Teachers across the district saying the phone situation is out of control and students are in class on their phones, disrupting learning, and that it's also led to fights, false alarms, and damage to property. The district's solution, tamper-proof Yonder pouches, something the students put in their phones or put their phones in at the start of the day, not getting them back until dismissal.
But what we allow spouses will be. It's a tool to help us get the cell phone issue under control.
Teachers should not be saying it's just too difficult. Let's discipline the kids that aren't following the rules. Let's do that. It sounds pretty basic to me, and support those that do follow rules and are 99% good.
Not all parents agreeing with the plan, bringing up health concerns and access in the case of an emergency. The plan, coming with a price tag of $98,000, will be monitored by the district and evaluated by December.
Well, parents in the Gananda School District say they are still terrified after a student falsely reported an active shooter last week.
In a meeting last night, parents met with school board members to discuss possible changes moving forward. Erica DeCoste joins us with more.
Good morning. And an 8th grader has since been charged with making a false report, accused of lying to authorities about the entire situation. The false reports were coming in the form of texts to 911. Last night, parents met with board members in a private meeting, but we got a chance to catch up with some as it ended. And they say they're grateful for actions of police and teachers last week despite the tense moments. All 3 buildings in the district were placed on lockdown for quite some time. Looking ahead, they're calling for more safety protocols. Changes Superintendent Sean Van Scoy says are in the works.
We are certainly looking at other things that we've seen as a result of Friday. There are some hiccups along the way. We're having conversations about how to improve our cell phone systems and how to respond and engage with cell phones, how to improve our walkie-talkie systems, and improve our lock systems for our door locks.
Terrified. I really hope our legislature and those in a position to make a difference really take a look at what it takes to keep our kids safe.
And Superintendent Van Scoy says they have 1 security resource officer on a part-time basis from Macedon Police, and they're looking to expand to a permanent presence in the near future. In the studio, Erica Cost, News 8.
Erica, thank you. Van Scoy says these conversations will continue into the summer. This story can also be found on our website, rochesterfirst.com.
Elsewhere, Connor Dwyer Reynolds, a suspended member of the Rochester Police Accountability Board, speaking out in an essay written in an online blog. He's accusing the PAB chair, Shawnee Wilson, of sexually harassing him after learning about his sexual orientation. News 8 did reach out to Wilson and her attorney, who said, quote, "It is our policy that we do not comment on ongoing investigations or matters that may lead to litigation, so that the investigation can be conducted in an expedient and thorough manner." We did also reach out to the Police Accountability Board and Reynolds. Neither have responded.
Democratic candidates for New York governor squaring off in their second debate heading into this month's primary. Last night, was the first time all 3 candidates were on the stage together. Governor Hochul skipping the first debate, while Congressman Tom Suozzi and former New York City public advocate Jumaane Williams challenged the governor on the Bills stadium deal, crime, and the arrest of former Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin. Hochul focusing on accomplishments like the new gun safety laws passed and her pledge to protect reproductive rights.
She says she jumps from.
Here's what some folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. Well, after his legal victory over his ex-wife Amber Heard in a defamation suit, Johnny Depp is sending a message to his fans. Depp, who won over $10 million in that case, releasing a TikTok out to his hundreds of supporters, dedicating the legal victory to them. He said they did the right thing together. Not a whole lot to add to that.
Yeah.
James, the forecast, my friend, what do you got?
Yeah, sure. We are talking about the school bus forecast as we are winding down on the school year. Just a couple more weeks left. We've got Regents coming up here as well. Sunrise was at 5:31. Man, we were looking at twilight at 5 a.m. this morning. Love that. It's a little bit cooler this morning, low 50s, but finishing in the 70s this afternoon. And trend of the 8-day forecast, cooler with some rain showers mixed in, kind of sandwiched. Today we're dry, tomorrow we're wet. Rain showers in the morning. Friday we're dry again. And then this weekend is trending a bit drier, stuck in the 60s for Saturday. Just an isolated shower there. Better chances as we get into Sunday. But yeah, we really don't see much of a warm-up until we get into next week.
Yeah, looks like a lot going on there. Good for the News 8 app, James.
Yeah, certainly. Good idea to have that to track those rain showers. Tomorrow morning at this time, we're going to be tracking storms. I'd say you really want to stay tuned. If you're watching us now, stay tuned tomorrow morning. There could be a minor flood concern with some of those storms.
Join us back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching today. News 8 at Sunrise.
Our next update this morning is coming up in about 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great Wednesday.